side of your screen to leave comments or ask questions. You can do it now if you want, if you have a question, or you can do it at any time during the session. Our team will be selecting some of your questions, which I will then ask Umutcan in the last 30 minutes of the session. Your microphones should remain mute during the session, so we don't have any distractions or any noises in the background. So please make sure that you're mute, but feel free to put your camera. It's nice to look at your faces. It's nice to have this community online. Also, please note that we are recording this session, okay? So now back to today's speaker. Umutcan Duman is one of the founders and the CEO of Evreka, a Turkish-born company that is taking efficiency in waste collection to a whole new level. Born and raised in Izmir, son of 2 university professors, he had 2 unsuccessful startup attempts before starting Evreka, which now operates in more than 25 countries. He's also listed in the Forbes 30 Under 30 2019 edition and has joined the Founders Pledge, promising to donate a share of his personal earnings to charity. Umutcan, all of this and you're not even 30? That's a lot. Welcome, and it's really nice to host you in this first session.
So thanks a lot, Marcelo. Hi, everybody. Hopefully, this session will be efficient and effective for you. I would like to share all my experience and I don't know, whatever you would like to get from my side.
Amazing. And we were living some very interesting times, you know, of radical changes for business all over the world. So I just wanted to start by asking you, how has COVID-19 changed the way you do business?
Well, of course, as most of the companies, we started working from our houses. From the first day in Turkey, I would say, in 11th of March, there was the first positive case, and 12th of March, we started working from our houses, because the most important thing for us is the people in our team. And that's why we said, no matter what, we are working from home. But maybe we are in the lucky position because the sector that we are servicing to is waste collection businesses, and they have to work. They cannot stop even. That's why our clients are working, and we have to work even harder to support them. And in additionally, we by heart, we would like to provide some solutions, some of the technologies or some of the solutions that we have already in our hand to people or to organizations who are fighting against COVID-19. Because of course we are not the primary players in this area, but we would like to be the secondary players to support who does the real job on field.
Was it a big change for you? Were your team already decentralized, or everyone was coming to the office every day and you really had to change the way you work?
Well, in general, we are working in one office, but we have different locations and different people working in co-working places. But more importantly, we were ready for working remotely because we don't have to come to the office, although we have a headquarters. So if one day you would like to work at a cafe, in a cafe or at your home, you don't have to, come to the office. That's why we had the system which we can work remotely. That's why we didn't have that much challenge regarding working remotely, of course, but of all the other challenges we are also facing.
Of course. And as some of us know, the entrepreneurial journey is often more challenging and much less romantic than most people think, right? There's a lot of challenges that we have to go through. So tell us a little bit about how you got to start your company from, being raised in Izmir and to finding your partners in Ankara.
Well, I would like to start with one thing. Of course, challenges there all the time, but what we are doing basically, trying to see the romantic part of the challenges. That is what we like. That is what motivates us all the time. It's like an inner motivation. It's not coming from outside. So what I have done, I was born in Izmir, which is a lovely city I really like, and I came to Ankara just because of METÜ, which is one of the best engineering universities in Turkey and maybe in the region as well. Then I said at the first year, in my first year in METÜ, I said I am going to establish my own company because I've seen METÜ Technopolis. I met all the different entrepreneurs and investors, and this was, how to say, exciting for me. And that was the starting point. And then I stayed here, although I don't like Ankara, but I get used to it.
And you did this without having any role models in your family or anyone you knew who was an entrepreneur. Do you think it was natural to you to become an entrepreneur?
How to say? While I was a little child, my father and mother was asking to me, would you like something blue or red? And I said, green. So I'm always selecting, different one. So I didn't have a role model in my family. My mother and father was geography teachers. They are geography teachers. So I didn't have any example in my family. But I read a lot. I'm still reading a lot. So I'm trying to get different examples and different role models from different people to build myself and to improve myself. And of course, my co-founders motivates me a lot as well. So I'm also learning and getting from them too. I would say it's like we build ourselves, what motivates us and what we are. So yeah.
So let's go to that moment. You're now studying in Ankara, and you get to know your future, I would say, future founders of your company, and you decide to start Evreka as a way of bringing efficiency to a sector that sometimes does not have a lot of efficiency. How was the beginning? You didn't have any investment, so when you look back at those first months starting the organization, what are your memories?
Well, we are always saying this, so it was a crazy decision because we are working in waste management sector, and the waste management sector is basically under the control of governmental entities. So we don't have anyone which we know, or you need some connections. We don't have any idea about waste management sector. We don't have any experience in startups or whatever. I just did my internship in one startup. Of course, I failed in once as well. But then we said, okay, there is a huge potential here. There is a huge problem here, which brings the huge potential. And we said with Berkay, rest in peace, unfortunately, we lost him 2.5 years ago. We said, okay, we are going to do that. Berkay and myself, we are business-oriented persons. But what we do is really engineering business, like different sensors, different software algorithms, whatever. But Berkay and me are like two crazy guys. And what we did at the beginning, we ran after a waste collection truck just to talk with the driver of it. It was between 12 and 1 a.m. During the night, just to get some information, just to validate our assumptions.
So
because we assumed.
you're running after the trash collector guy in the middle of
Yes, literally, because he didn't stop. He was stopping just to collect each container. So we ran after the truck for like 3-4 bins, and then we got little information. And the day after, we went to the municipality by using the information we got from him.
Well, that's taking, talking to your end user to the next level, right? Doing your user research in the middle of the night, running after a truck.
Because they were working at that time, so we had to wait for them. And then when we heard them, so we just run from the house and catch them while they're working and ask our questions.
And after, you got the idea, you started the company, and then after 10 months, you got investment. Was that something that you were planning to do from the beginning, and how that has changed the way you ran your business?
Well, of course, we specifically Berkay and me, we were reading a lot to understand what is going to be on the road. So we were trying to plan the next steps. Of course, the investment was one of them. But we were assuming that we are going to get the first investment after some revenue. But we got the investment before the revenue, even before the product. What we did on the way, we motivate Aydın abi. We call him Aydın abi, Aydın Öztunalı, our business angel, because he's really like big brother for us. So we did some work for him, like website development, to get some money because we didn't have money to survive. And then we explained what is business angels. So how you can invest in startups and what are the benefits, what are the cons and pros, whatever. So we motivated him to be a business angel first, and then we motivated him to be our business angel.
He was not an investor.
No, he was not.
He was not an investor. So you convinced him to become an investor, and the first investment was your company.
Yes, definitely. So what has changed after the investment? Well, if we didn't get that investment, one month later, we were dead. So luckily, we got the investment from him. And then 1 month later, we had 5 sensors in our hand, which we can do some on-field test with one of the potential clients. And then this is a funny story as well, because Mert and Berkay went to Izmir from Ankara to install those 5 sensors for the client area. And they installed the sensors on field and they came back. But it took like 7-8 hours to come back from Izmir to Ankara. During that time, we lost all 5 sensors. So we were not seeing any data coming from our sensors, and we didn't have any other sensor. So what we did, what actually Berkay did, he went back right after. 8 hours more driving, and he collected all the sensors, sent them back to us, and he stayed there in Izmir for 1 week, and he was traveling container by container every hour to collect the data by his eyes, because he was checking the container and saying that, okay, this container is 20% full, and then container number 2 is 50% full, and we were writing down in the system. So the client didn't understand that there is no sensor. Why? During that time, Matt has solved the problem and sent the sensors back, and we got the client after like two months of pilot on field. But the first week was without sensors. Well, human sensor.
I think that also speaks to a lot of founders' experiences in the beginning, where you have to do pretty much everything, right? Is there one job you haven't done, and what is the most odd job that you've done in the beginning?
we have done everything. So we got into the containers. We have been the sensors. We have installed the sensors, and then we have seen that this is one of the biggest challenges of our sector. No one wants to touch those containers, but we are always in that. And that's why, like for 3-4 years, I've used one of the initial photos inside of a waste container by doing like this, but I'm in the container. So this shows something, because we would like to touch the real cases. We would like to feel the real problems. And yeah, that brings a lot back. Yeah.
And Evreka now is about 5 years old. What was the moment during, since you started, where you had, it was that challenging moment that you thought, this is not going well, or you were doubting yourself, or doubting if you're doing the right thing and thought about quitting? Did you have any of those moments in the past 5 years?
Well, of course, we have faced lots of challenging cases. But well, the biggest challenge that we have faced is losing Berkay. But even in that time, we didn't think about quitting from Evreka. We said that, okay, we lost him, but we are carrying his dreams on our shoulders as well. So this was one thing. Another challenging issue, which was related with financials, of course, about after July 15, like almost 2 years ago. So after that, like 3-4 months later, we were fundraising, which was a challenging time to fundraise. It took us to finalize the fundraising like 6 months. But before the finalization of the fundraising, like 2 months, we couldn't pay anything to our employees. But before that, we taught them in a group and one by one. We said that, okay, we will not be able to pay you. If you want, you can quit, and we can help you to find new jobs, because we have different people which we know. We have the network which we can help you with. Or if you would like to stay, of course, we are going to pay an extra after we get the investment. And none of them has quit. So we handled the situations all together, which also motivated us. Yeah.
Do you think that was due to the culture that you had built in your company, or people really believed in the mission? Why did they not quit at that point?
Well, both actually, because the culture is really important. It basically becomes with trust, and we are always open to all the people in our crew, and we are saying that once you get in Evreka crew, you are always Evreka crew. Even if you quit, even if you go somewhere else, you are always in Evreka crew. You are in the family always. And at the same time, we shoved the road as well. Okay, we don't have money today, but we are going to get the investment, then we are going to do this and that. So we already shoved the plan, but at the same time, they trusted us. Well, this is coming from the culture, I believe.
And culture is such an important thing, but it's not an easy thing to make sure that you come up with a culture and everyone in the company understands. What is the culture of Evreka today?
They say that the culture is coming from the founders, and everyone is building up all together. So we actually said that, okay, we are doing our own business by bringing our own values, and because we care, we really care. We care people, we care what we do, we care our customers, we care people outside, and we found people who care as well. So it builds the culture too. But 2 years later of our foundation, we said, okay, let's write down our values, but not my values. We are going to discuss all together and eliminate some of those and write down some others. And well, interestingly, in our values, there is no environmental friendly sentence. But in the first one is we care. It already includes environmental friendly, because if we are caring, we of course care environment as well. But there is no sentence coming from my side, all the values coming from the crew itself. I think this makes it much more stronger. You are mute, Marcela.
Evidently, we also have a similar value at Recoded, which is care deeply. And I think it's one of the most important things that you show, that you care about the people you work with and also the people you're serving through your solutions, right? And talking about really caring about other people, in 2017, you joined the Founders Pledge. For those of you who don't know, the Founders Pledge is a global movement where founders from companies pledge to give part of their wealth if they have a successful exit. So I wanted to ask you, why did you decide to join the pledge and why this is important for you?
Well, because we are, how to say, as I mentioned earlier, we are building ourselves by getting from different people, getting from the ecosystem, getting from different books, experiences of your site, whatever. So yes, of course, we are getting, but we also have to give, because someone is giving to us. It's like a chain. That's why it's like a give back motivation. We have learned, and we are still learning from the people which are more experienced than us. So we can also share our experiences with other people to enable them to do even better things. But then we said, okay, giving back is valuable. Giving first is even much more valuable. So you can give without expecting anything from the people that you are giving to. And this makes us feel really, I don't know, I'm still proud to sign this Founders Pledge. And I believe that if I can give something, people will be able to do something good for the people. So I will be part of it. So this is I don't know, like maybe it's coming from my family, like mother and father. They are the teachers, so they are always giving their information, their knowledge to all the people, all their students. Maybe it's like that. So I'm giving a lot, not only myself, but as Evreka crew, we are giving a lot, trying to improve this too.
In the times that we live today, with problems with climate change and pandemics and homelessness, do you think we're going to see a change in new entrepreneurs who are much more in line with their social responsibility, not only business for profit above all, but having a sense that what they do with their businesses is important and impact our planet?
Well, definitely. Well, maybe we can see this situation as an advantage as well. This is a risky sentence for sure, but what is the advantage of it? So we are now understanding what is really important. Not only profit, but also our lives, but also different values in the world. So profit is one thing for sure, growth is one thing for sure, but how we can help each other, how we can create some impact on people's life. So I believe, like, as human beings, we are now understanding what is really valuable, what is like fake valuable. That's why I believe from now on we are going to see much more impact-oriented companies coming up, hopefully. And if possible, we would like to help them to improve themselves too.
And do you see any silver lining, any reasons for hope in this COVID-19 crisis, that there will be opportunities for existing business or new entrepreneurs?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is like all the time. From the crisis, there are huge potential companies coming up. So as entrepreneurs, we are the lucky people because we have that skill set, we have that muscles to be flexible, to be agile, and we also question the processes, try to understand what is the real problem, what would be the best solution, what would be the scalable solution, and how we can try to help the solution. So what personally I'm trying to do, and as a company we are trying to do, is to talk with people who can see the problems in first hand. So we are asking, for instance, last night we had a call with Laura. Laura is from Gates Foundation. So he's specifically working in Africa, West Africa, and he's seeing a lot of different situations in Africa right now. And we were asking her, okay, what is the situation? What is the real problem, and how we can help you? So try to ask people what is the problem and what can be the solution, and try to be that solution, or try to help create the solution. So there is the opportunity for sure. If there's a problem, there is of course an opportunity.
And I imagine that some of the people who are joining us tonight want to be an entrepreneur, or they've started their own business. What is an advice that you wish you had when you started, and you would give to would-be entrepreneurs today?
The best thing that I can tell, work really hard, because if you would like to do some extraordinary stuff, you have to work a lot. There is no shortcut for success. There is no shortcut for impact. This is one thing, working really hard. The second thing is share a lot with your peers, with your employees, with different entrepreneurs, whatever, because it becomes 3 instead of 2 if you add 1 plus 1. So partnering and helping each other, improving not the other person only, but yourself too. So this is also one thing. And well, they are always saying this, but talk to the problem owners, talk to the customers, like run after the waste collection truck. This is an example. But do that, and you will surprised what you are going to hear, because we are always assuming something, but we have to validate it. And the validation is coming from the problem owner. It is coming from the customer itself. So I think these are the three main points that I can tell. And try to be positive, try to stay positive, help yourself to stay positive. Do your sports daily, build like a daily routines, daily rituals, you have to invest yourself first, because you are the leader. So everyone is going to look at you. If you are leading by doing, then this is the best way. So invest in yourself, not only from the technical skill side, but also psychologically, because this is not a financial, not a physical, but psychological war. You have to be really strong psychologically.
And Umutcan, your success so far, was it luck or hard work?
Well, I would say, of course, there are some lucky points, but to catch that luck, you have to be ready for it. You have to work really hard. So what I can say, if there was no hard working, luck doesn't work. You have to work a lot. You have to be ready for the potential lucks, and then you can catch it and use it for your purposes. So I wouldn't say there is no luck, because the biggest luck that I have seen in my life is to meet those three crazy guys, to build Evreka as a crazy decision. So that was the biggest luck, but rest is working really hard.
There you go. Thank you so much for that. And now I want to look at some of the questions that you have been asking Umutcan. If you haven't asked your question, please, you can use the chat function to ask any questions. But I'm going to start with a couple of the questions that we have here. From Mohammed Aziz, he's asking, how did you decide on your expansion to other countries? From what he can tell, the Middle East is very unstable. Is that why you expanded to other places first?
We started this company not to stay in Turkey, but we would like to be global leader of this sector from the first day. So when we felt ourselves comfortable to go out, and we said, okay, let's give a shot. Which countries can be the potential buyers? Who has money to invest in technology? Which we have the good connections. So if we can go there, and of course we can communicate culturally. So these are the two things. Of course, we tried different countries, but Dubai, United Arab Emirates, was the first country that we have landed. We have similar culture. It's an international place, so you can speak in English. And they had the money to invest in new technologies, innovation. So this was one thing for sure. But there was also a luck, because we approached to our local partner there. And he said that, okay, let's partner up. And we have the tender, which we can go together within 2-3 weeks. We said, okay, let's try our chance. And we got the deal. So this was the chance. But we of course run after it, and then if you do the first thing, if you go abroad once, then you say, okay, I did it, so I can go all the other countries too. This was not as difficult as we thought before. Then we said, okay, we are going globally, not going everywhere at once, but trying to test our assumptions. And some of them didn't work, some of them worked. That's why the working area, initial working area, was Middle East region and Africa region. So we are strong in there. But now we are testing different regions globally as well.
I have a question here from Omar Alitawi. How to make a business stand out from its competitors? What makes that, you rise above the competition?
Well, the clients are telling you. They said, okay, what is your differentiation point? And we are always asking questions. What you would like to see in our solution? If you can tell me, I can bring it to you. Of course, it's not a customization. You collect the feedbacks from the potential clients and say that, okay, this client is from Dubai, this client is from Mexico, this client is from Malaysia, and they are asking for the same thing. Okay, let's do it and give them all. So collect the feedbacks, ask questions. Do not try to sell your solution. Do not try to sell your product to them. First, ask your questions. What is the biggest challenge that you are facing right now? And how we can help you? What is your dream solution in your mind? Please describe it to me, and I will do my best to bring it to you as soon as possible. Or let's start with this one, and I will bring it, the remaining part, within 1 month, 2 months, whatever. Of course, I'm talking from the business to business point of view. The custom B2C might be different, but we are in the B2B sector, which we are talking with our clients face to face.
Okay, a question from Emre Erdem. He's asking if you have ever been to Silicon Valley and if it has played any role in you starting your business, and if you have not, what are your thoughts on the companies coming out of the Valley today, and if it serves as any inspiration for you?
I haven't been in Silicon Valley, and I didn't have any dream about it even, because, well, of course, it's a melting point for the investment, for good companies, but rest of the world has huge problems as well, which somebody has to solve it. What we are doing, we are trying to learn the experiences from Silicon Valley, but also from India, but also from Norway. So in different parts of the world, there are different problems. And specifically, waste management is not managed properly, is not managed in a good way in US. And they are not, how to say, willing to invest in sustainability related issues too. So US is not the correct market. So why should I go to the US? I needed to go to India because they have the challenge. And I went to India. I faced the challenge there, and we are working in 7 cities in India. Hopefully will increase. So there are, if I were doing different business, maybe I needed to go to Silicon Valley, but think wisely. You have your time, you have your budget, you have your attention, so you have to spend all these wisely. So if you have one ticket option, I wouldn't go Silicon Valley for my business. But if you need to go Valley, of course you should try your best.
All right, from Elif, what is the biggest risk of building a startup and trying to expand the company internationally? She wants to know, should we look out for and be prepared in advance? And what do you do in that case?
Well, I'm saying that what could happen? I mean, we can fail, and that's it. Then we can start again. This is the third startup that I'm doing. The first 2 has failed, and nothing happened. And they are always saying that, okay, 9 out of 10 companies which we are going to invest as a VC or as a business angel are going to fail. So if you are really lucky, then you are going to be that one company. Otherwise, like statistically, you are going to fail. This is the expectation. So prepare for negative situation and say that nothing is going to happen. So we are still alive and we can do even more. Yeah, and I'm always remembering that there is one quote I really like, Memento Mori, which tells you that remember that you are going to die or remember the death. So if I'm alive, it's okay.
Amazing. So I have a question here from Abdul Qadir. He's asking for your recommendation of any angel investors or accelerators in Turkey that would invest in a company, I guess, run by a foreigner or international company. So angel investors or accelerators in Turkey.
Well, I didn't get the question, I think. Could you?
Yeah, he's asking for recommendations for an angel investor or accelerators that would invest.
I believe they don't have any challenges to invest in foreigners or foreigner companies, but I'm not coming from their side, so I'm not the correct person to recommend. But what I could do, I could I would approach all of them, because you never know who brings who. I've done my pitch in front of 10, 12 people, and none of them was interested. And one of them just approached to me and said that, okay, I'm not going to invest in you directly, but I'm going to introduce you to someone. Okay, I said, please, thanks. And he introduced me to Philip Minassian, who was the owner and general manager of Efe Industry, which is the biggest waste collection truck producer in Turkey. And I went to Izmir to meet him, and he didn't show up. And I came to Ankara. And he said, sorry, it was my fault, whatever. And then 1 week later, I went to Izmir once again, and he is now our investor. So he helped a lot. So you never know who is going to bring you who. And that guy, Philip Minassian, is the investor. He brought the biggest client of us currently. Well, he didn't brought it, but he helped us to get the deal. So maybe if I didn't go that meeting, because I didn't believe that there is the correct investor there, I couldn't meet with Philip, and then Philip couldn't bring the biggest client of us. So never say no to any introduction or any potential investor.
And talking about investment, Khaled Hawani is asking, what is your investment stage at the moment? And what are the industries that your investors come from?
Well, so far we got almost $2 million investment. And currently we can position ourselves as Series A, pre-Series A stage. And what our investors are coming from, where our investors are coming from, is we build a team of investors, and they have different skill sets. Because 500 Startups is one of our investors, which is, one of the biggest early stage VCs globally. They have 2,500 investment portfolio. And so they are our investors, and they have huge experience, incredible one. And Philip Minassian is one of the investors. He knows the waste management sector. He knows the correct people. And Sanko Holding is one of the biggest companies in Turkey, well established. And if someone is looking at you and saying that, okay, you are a small company and blah, blah, and okay, I have the big brother, okay, we are together. So now you cannot tell me that you are a small company because I'm going to be sustainable, because he's here. So you can play with your investors in the correct position. So try to build up a team of investors as well.
And I have another question here from Mohammed Aziz. He's asking, how much time did you spend in the beginning working on your startup, the first 18 months? Because he's saying that he's now doing 14 hours a day because he occupies 3 different roles in the organization. So is there any best practice here that you can recommend?
So basically, you are all joker, so you have to do everything at the first day. So a friend of mine told me that you have different hats. First, you are the founder, you are the CEO, you are the salesperson, you are the field worker, whatever. And then after some time, you are giving the different hats to different people. But from the first day, of course, you have to do everything on your own as a founders team. We were working from 8 or 8:30 in the morning till 3 a.m. 7 days in a week. Because Mert was working in a company, Mehmet was academician, so he was working in university as well. So we were working with Berkay, and then they were coming to the office, and then we were working with them as well. But they were coding, they were doing the R&D stuff. Me and Berkay was bringing them some tea, some coffee, or whatever, helping them to work. It was like 3 months we were working like this, and then we said, this is not sustainable. You have to, as I mentioned, you have to invest yourself psychologically too. And then we said that, okay, after 12, after midnight, we are not going to work. 7 days till 12. So it basically goes down step by step. Now we are working, well, again, still more than normal working hours. But yeah, in the beginning, we were working that much.
This is a good segue to some of the questions we have here. Let me see. Ipek is asking you, how do you manage to keep yourself motivated, especially during hard times?
Well, I remember that memento mori sentence, because how do you define hard times? This is sad story, but this also gives us that strength, because we lost Berkay, one of our brothers, and we are still alive as person, as company as well. So what can be a challenge bigger than that for a company? Of course, there might be different challenges, but this is bringing the strength to us. Remind yourself, people are having huge challenges. We can have huge challenges too, but we are still alive. As entrepreneurs, we cannot bring, we cannot say because I cannot work and blah, blah, but we have to say how we can solve this situation, how we can survive. So we need to bring the solution. We cannot bring the problem. So I think this is the approach that we are following all the time. And as we are following this constantly, all the people in our crew are following this approach too. They are not bringing the problems only. We are bringing the problems and try to solve it. We are bringing the solution options too. And this is like a motivation, I think.
And on that note, Atom is asking if you have any practices, both at a personal level or at your organization, to take care of your mind and body. Anything that you do to keep yourself sane and healthy?
But personally, I'm doing sports for sure. In a daily manner. I was running. Now I'm training for triathlon, and I'm doing inside for sure currently. But as a team,
You're not that guy who showed up on social media the other day running in his terrace.
yeah,
Were you that guy?
I'm doing a little one in the house, but I have my bicycle here on trainer, so I'm doing the bicycle inside as well. But yeah, if you would like to do that, you can find a solution. They are doing so. As a team, what we are doing, we invested in Headspace, which is a meditation application. So all the crew members of our team, they have the premium Headspace account, which we are giving to them. So we motivate them to use it to do the meditation. And the second thing is I have a friend who is a psychologist, so she is going to come to our Zoom meetings to talk with the team, to try to somehow educate us, somehow make us ready for the situation. So she's going to help us. This is another thing. And we have training sessions after the working hours at 7 p.m. every day. So we are doing our sports training all together. Well, who wants to join? They can join. Of course, we are doing the sports all together. So we try to motivate each other to do the meditation, to do the sports. Not myself only, but everyone is trying to help each other.
We're planning to start a running club at Recoded, and then this happened, and now I don't know if we're going to do it again.
But still, you can do some challenges. I know some companies are doing plank challenges. Okay, let's do the plank. Let's start today. Every day we are doing the plank together, and then what we will see where we can reach till the end of this crisis. Okay, we can start with 30 seconds today, but maybe it's going to be 5 minutes or 10 minutes till the end of it. So you can do it like in a positive way. You can start different sports. Yeah.
Well, no, we can do it. I can already see Amar, our coding instructor, smiling. I think he's going to be the first one to take the challenge.
Yeah, perfect.
So
I can be the part of it as well, because this is fun. So we should create our own fun.
Why not? This is a time together, even if we cannot be physically together. One question here from Honey. How do you find a co-founder, and do you really need a co-founder? Specifically, she's asking about a technical co-founder, CTO.
First, not related with skill set. I cannot think myself doing business alone, because it's not about technical skills, or it's not about business wise. It's about trusting each other. It's about supporting each other, because you cannot imagine how many challenges that you are going to face in a daily manner, in hourly manner. So because in the morning you can be up, and then in the noon, then you will be down, then you will be up again. So it's like a roller coaster, as people are saying. So if you have the founders, and if you are trusting each other, so that's the thing. Then the skill set comes. Of course, like technical founder or business founder or salesperson or whatever. Of course, well, I believe the main positions in the company, like the business and technical, at least 2 founders is needed. But if you have like 3, if you have 4, you have to be careful, because it also depends on your business. But what we have done, we had the hardware, we had the software, we had the business, and we had the sales, and blah blah. So we were doing a complicated business, and then we had 4 founders, which is perfectly fine for us. It's totally up to you, but I do not recommend you to do the business alone.
So because we're getting to the end, I will have the last question here from Alia. How do you make sure that your success curve is always rising, and that you're growing your company successfully and sustainably?
Well, you try to find out the correct numbers, because sometimes, well, I've learned this curve from an experienced entrepreneur in Turkey. This is the experience sharing. I would like to draw it here if you can see. So it can go like this, or it can go down like this. But if you look at this position, you are saying that I am going bad, but in the full picture, you are going good. Here, if you are looking at the numbers here, you can say that, okay, I'm going, yeah, not bad, I'm going good, but in the big picture, you are going down. So you can look to the correct numbers, but you should look at the big picture as well. Maybe like in 1 day, 2 days, you can feel yourself, okay, I'm going good, but in the big picture, you are gonna die soon. So you should be careful about what you are looking at. And there is one thing that I have learned recently, like 2 days ago from Serhat. Serhat is one of the founders of Insider, one of the most successful startups, scale-ups in Turkey. So he told that even if you cannot grow your revenue, grow something. For instance, during this crisis, COVID-19 period, maybe you cannot grow your revenue, but you can grow something else. Try to find that correct growing area for your business, for your company.
Thank you so much. And with that, I want to thank you very much, Umutcan, for sharing your story with us. I certainly learned from you, and it was a very interesting story of how you started the business. I hope we can do some planks together.
Yeah, if you are gonna start the challenge, I will be in.
Absolutely. Thank you really so much. And thanks to everyone for joining us today. Our next Tech Founder Speaker session is next Wednesday, the 22nd, same time, 7 p.m., same place, here on Zoom, with Koray Bahar. He's the founder of Figo Bara, and I'm sure it's going to be also a very interesting conversation. So we hope to see you again there. But before you go, just please take a few minutes to fill out a feedback survey that we're going to put here on the chat. Again, the chat here on the right-hand side. We're going to share a link to a feedback survey. And this is very important for us because we want to make sure that we get your feedback and we're improving this experience. As I said, this is the first one of 6 in this speaker series. We also have other events that we're going to be doing online, so we want to make sure that we're doing it well. So take the next 2 or 3 minutes, make sure that you fill it out. Here it is. Daria already shared. We're not going to finish this event for the next 5 minutes so that you have a chance to get to the link. But again, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday evening and a great end of the week. Thank you again, Umutcan, and I see you next time.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, everybody. So Marcelo, Ethem as well, and all of you to join this call. Hopefully it was beneficial for you. And again, you mentioned that Koray is going to be next speaker. Please do not miss him because he's the correct guy, which you can learn from him a lot. I'm learning from him. I'm asking all my questions to him, and he's answering directly. Not doing like this. He's saying the correct answer right away. So thanks a lot. And if there is anything that I can help you with, please do not hesitate to approach me.
Thank you so much. You saw it better than I did. Thank you, everyone. Great evening. Bye.